Hello Internet, Basmalo here, back with part 2 of my Fallout New Vegas Let's Play. Okay, now while the outside world of New Vegas looks fantastic, we're actually going to be heading back inside as I make a point to grab everything I can to get myself a better start, and that includes looting the house of poor Doc Mitchell. He did patch us up, but now I'm a little light on funds. I also this as an opportunity to show you guys the menus of the game. Basically, this is the Pip-Boy. This is something that the Doc himself handed to us. It's an incredibly useful tool. In the Fallout lore, it is basically an ARM-mounted computer, and anybody who's played the other Fallout games will, find it immediately recognizable. So first, we have the status page. This shows not only your overall health, but also the action points you have remaining for VATS, the experience you need to level, the health of your individual limbs, which is good for keeping them from being crippled. You can improve these with doctor's bags as well as stim packs applied directly. Though, because I'm playing in hardcore mode, I can't actually fix a crippled leg with anything but a doctor's visit or a doctor's bag. Next we have your radiation. As you explore the wasteland and find places where radiation is more intense, you'll start to gather it by yourself, or if you eat irradiated food, you'll slowly become more and more irradiated. As you reach certain thresholds, you get weaker and weaker and weaker, where your body will eventually start to see serious negatives and possibly even death. Here, of course, you see is my natural rad resistance. This can go up through use of gear or perks later. These are any current effects on my character. Right now I'm wearing the Vault jumpsuit, though that's going to change pretty quickly, I think. And it offers me a simple +2 to speech, +2 to melee. Not bad. These are important because I'm playing in hardcore mode. Namely, this is my water level, H2O. The higher this goes, the worse it is, the more thirsty I am. So I want to keep this low by drinking things. Any open source of water is great, though I will make a caveat. Certain drinks that have a plus to them, like soda that you'll find, actually make you thirstier. I actually, I remember I actually almost killed myself the first time I played this because I kept chugging bottles of soda, and I couldn't understand why I wasn't getting less thirsty. I was actually killing myself from dehydration. Here we have the same deal. It's food. You just find food, eat it to keep yourself from starving. Sleep as well. Sleep can be one of the trickier ones because though it decays a lot slower than versus food and water, finding a place to sleep in the wasteland can be very tricky, especially if you find yourself getting really exhausted in the middle of a quote-unquote dungeon out there in the wasteland. You know, a vault, a hideout with a lot of enemies and a tremendous amount of loot that, yes, of course you can come back to, but you really don't want to. Here we have the, let me just make sure I got everything. Okay, got everything on this side. Special, this just shows you your stat allocation. This will also show you if you've got anything on that's going to be affecting that. Like later on, you can get a hat. In fact, I'll be grabbing one almost immediately. That'll give me a plus on the perception while it's on. Your skills, again, showing everything. Exactly. See? Now, my melee weapons with this little plus next to it, which shows me that I'm wearing something or under the effect of something that's giving me a boost. Namely, the Vault suit. Same thing with speech here. These are your perks. Now, I don't know why they put your traits in with your perks. The two are very different. But basically, as you level up, you'll see that there's a long list of very useful and very powerful benefits, augmentations to your character that you get to choose from. In Fallout 3, you got one every level. In New Vegas, they made it a bit more challenging. You get one only every other level, which makes you pick and choose a lot more closely. And here we have General. This first page would be reputation. That hasn't actually been introduced to my character yet. This idea of what you do for certain factions within the Mojave Wasteland, whether it be the NCR or Caesar's Legion or even a given town, you can be the most evil bastard of the Wasteland, but if you've been good to a town, they will still treat you with respect, if not, fear. This, of course, is your general information. Quests completed, locks picked, rataways taken, all this little additional information of things that you've done so you can look back on it and, kind of wonder at how many limbs you've blown off someone. This also gives you your alignment. As you do good things by saving people or taking out raiders, killing certain monsters, you get good karma. You steal from people, you pillage or murder somebody, you're going to get negative karma. Right now I'm neutral because I really haven't done anything. This may dip somewhat, considering I'm about to steal, like, everything in here. Though, actually, now that I think about it, I don't think they tag any of the Doc's stuff as his own. I think they sort of assume most players are going to scavenge up pretty much everything from inside his house. Frankly, it's a good policy. Let's see. Weapons. Right, this is the items section. This has your various weapons. Now, I'll take a look at one real quick, just to break it down for you guys. You have your basic information about your weapons. You have DPS, and you can see it flashing there. I don't know if it'll stay. Nope, I can't move the mouse. Well, you have DPS and damage. Basically, DPS is obviously damage per second for those of you who have played WoW and other online games. Damage is the raw damage of the weapon. Where that's important is a weapon with a high DPS is going to be able to help cut through enemies that are less armored. Damage is there to help you pierce enemies that are either naturally resistant or wearing armor. So if you're shooting at something and it's just not being that effective, you might need to switch to something with a much higher dam. You have the weapon's weight, its overall sell value, and as you see, STR, strength 2. You need at least 2 strength to hold that weapon well. That's what I mentioned in my first video about how the weapons have thresholds now. Also, you might see this little bullet symbol with a 0 next to it. Basically, that shows the gun skill, at what level of training you need to use this weapon proficiently. Because it's a basic 9mm, you don't even need 1-point guns. So, even a novice like me, currently, can use it without any problems. Underneath damage DPS, you can see the CND, or condition of the weapon. Basically, you want that to be as high as possible. Because it's so busted up right now, it's actually going to be doing a lot less damage than it would be if I filled it up at least to the little dark ticks toward the front of it. Beyond that, you can actually improve weapons to be better than new, though that requires a better repair and lots of them. Also, you can see, of course, the ammunition that it takes on the side. I didn't mention this before, but if you look at the top of the screen, you can see right here, DT, which is your damage threshold. As you wear armor and get perks, this makes you harder and harder to kill. It's essentially like your armor class from other games. And of course your caps. In Fallout New Vegas, in any of the Fallout games, caps, bottle caps, are the currency used in the world. And while barter and trade are great, having a fat stack of caps is just, it's the best. Yeah, see, so, melee weapon, that's the melee symbol there for the broad machete, the different damage, and this one's in great condition because it came as part of the DLC pack, so, of course, they give it to you almost brand new. Okay. This is saying very much of the things that I have sort of been covering with you. As you can see, information, the DT, how strong the armor is, and its weight, its value, the condition it's in, and also light, medium, or heavy. This was a light piece of armor. Basically, the heavier stuff you wear actually will slow you down. You won't jump as well. Your steps will be heavier, so stealth will be more difficult. So I like they actually made that a thing. Like, you actually had to be mindful of, well, do I want to be so slowed down, despite the fact that this might actually have better defense. Some people might carry around, one or two sets of armor just for various occasions, especially some of the lighter stuff, which might have augmentations, like a scientist coat, giving you a +5 to science, let's say. I think I'm actually going to put on the armored Vault 13 jumpsuit. Bit of a classic, and it doesn't really have that much of a difference between it and the leather armor besides, just aesthetics.